Good morning and welcome to your students to this new week's class of Social Science, Class 8th. Children, I know you people have been going through the chapters very carefully. You people are noting down the work, you people are taking all the instructions very nicely. Now it's time to move further in geography with chapter 2, which is land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife. As the chapter indicates, these different names land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife. Now, these five names comprise of the natural resources which we discussed in the previous chapter. Yes, they comprise of biotic and abiotic natural resources. Now, let us see what the chapter has to start with. Children, as we all know, natural resources are the resources which are found naturally, which are present over the earth's surface, given by nature. Out of these natural resources, which the chapter indicates, land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife, the most important out of these five resources is number one, land. Why land, children? Now, answer to these questions on your own. If there is no land and soil, obviously soil is the top part of the land or the earth's crust. So if there is no land, children, will water be solving its purpose? No. Where is going to be the vegetation found? Where are the wildlife, or where are going to be the wildlife be seen? So no wildlife, no vegetation, no water accomplishment if there is no land. So let us move to the first important resource out of these five natural resources is land. What is land? Land is most important component of the total natural resources, like we discussed in the last class. Then land covers about 30% 30% of the total area of the earth's surface. Children, out of the total earth's surface, land is covering about 30%, since we know water comprises of 70%, but here land comprises of 30% of the total earth's surface, and all parts of this small percentage are not habitable. Children, habitable is where you can live, where some life form is seen. Children, not everywhere of the part of land which is present on the earth's surface habitation can be found. Why? Why everywhere you can't live? If I ask you, if I give you a choice, you settle into these flat lands or go and settle at a top or a peak of a mountain, will you be doing so? No. Why? You'll say, who is going to live on the top of the mountain? Who is going to live on that peak? Life is very difficult. Come on, it's extreme cold, harsh temperature conditions, harsh climatic conditions. Then the roads, the communication, then transportation, everything is so difficult. Whereas you compare to this lifestyle of Lucknow, which is in the plains area, it is so good. No steep rises and downs of the roads. Land is flat, life is easy, isn't it? And we don't have extreme of temperature conditions. So everywhere on the total land area, children, we cannot have habitation, children. Children, the uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to different characteristics of land and climate. Like I have put a question before this point, that if I give you a choice, settle over a mountain peak or settle over these flat lands, you will definitely choose these lands, whereas life is very difficult over the mountain peaks. Same is the reason, children. That is the reason behind we see that population is scattered on different levels. Population is scattered on different level. You cannot see majority of the population equally distributed over mountains, over plains, over coastal areas, isn't it, over islands. So because of the different characteristics of land, land may be high, land may be low, land may be sandy. So different texture, different characteristics of land is helping in deciding the habitation of humans, is helping in the habitation of the humans or the population, children. So because of the different characteristics of land, the world population is different in different parts of the world. Now after this, children, we'll see what different characteristics of land are letting people to settle down somewhere majorly and somewhere in very less number. What are those characteristics? You must be thinking that actually what are those reasons why people are living, so many people are living at one place, while one place people are in very less quantity. So these are the different characteristics of land. Number one, it is rugged topography. Topography is simple, the formation of the land. Into what form you can see the land. So what form, what feature of land you are saying? For example, mountains, then coastal plains, then deserts, then flatlands, all these Deccans, the plateau region, all these are different topographies, like slopes of the mountains, low-lying areas, then desert areas, thick forested areas are, and thick forested areas are normally sparsely populated or uninhabited. Why? Because thick forested areas, you won't be able to live properly. You won't be able to get those conditions which are necessary for survival. Whereas plains, river valleys are suitable for agriculture. Therefore, people are living over these plains into huge quantity. Right, children? Hence, these are densely populated areas of the world. Now, you have discussed two types of populated areas: sparsely populated areas, densely populated areas. So, densely populated areas, as the name indicates, dense means majority of the population is living here. Sparsely, where less amount of population is living. Now, after this, knowing the correct and exact importance of land, we know different types of land are present over the earth's surface. Population is not into equal proportion over the earth's surface. Now, what usage, what use do we have of this wonderful natural resource, which is land? So we'll come to land use, the second topic of the chapter, land use. Now, land is used for different purposes. If I ask you, children, what is the usage of land? You will say, ma'am, land is used for many purposes, like agriculture, for foresting, for mining, for transportation, for building houses, buildings, construction. All this is used, is being able or is being possible because of land only. If I ask you, children, reach Montfort Inter College without using the land surface, will you be? Are you all having a chartered plane where you are going to fly directly? But even if you are flying over there, you need to land your plane down. So land holds the base of everything. No land, no utilization, no further development. So land is the place where we ply. Land is the base where we walk. So we build, we construct, we do different type of activities. I will repeat this point again. Land is used for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, setting up of industries. Now all these different categories, children, are termed as land use. Again, children, the term is giving you in itself the meaning. Land use means usage of land. Simple. Now, children, we will come to the third point of the chapter, the third topic of the chapter, which is common property resources. Like, what common properties we have in land? Land can also be divided on the basis of private land, community land. Children, land everywhere, you cannot go and just feel like living in. You can? No. Children, land basically is divided into two types, whereas private land and community land. Private land, again from the name itself, you can make it out private, which is being owned by someone, whereas community land is owned by the community for common uses, a group, a society for common uses like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts, medicinal herbs. So that belongs to a group of people, right? So private land and community land. So these community lands, children, are also known as common property resources. Common property resources. Of course, these resources are land, but not all the land available. Only the land which is being allotted or which is being divided, which is being coming under community lands. That is termed as common property resources. The name again is giving you the meaning. Common property resources. Common, which is for more than one, which is being used by commonly used by all. Property, which is not anyone's property, common property resources. Now, next topic, children, is change in the land use over time. Children, people and their demands are growing, but the availability of land is limited. If in a class I have 40 tables and chairs, so 40 students will be able to adjust themselves very nicely. Now one day I get 5 more admissions. Will I be able to give them 1 month seat per head? No, children, because I have the resources limited in number. 40 on 40, 5 more students. Where am I going to get again 5 tables and 5 chairs? Understood? Similar is the case with our resources over the earth surface. Earth surface is having limited amount of resources, but we humans, when we increase in number, when population increase, then only the demand of the rising population also increases. Increase in population, increase in the demand. So to meet these increasing demand, we are using these resources again and again, and in huge number, children. If the demands are growing, children, but availability of the land is limited, that is fixed, that cannot be increased, because from where are we going to get land resource then? So people started encroaching the common lands to build up commercial areas, housing complexes in the urban areas. They expand the agricultural land in the rural areas. So people will start getting different ideas, different strategies to bring common land, agricultural land into private usage, isn't it? So people are encroaching is coming into and utilizing some else's land. Encroach karna, when you are encroaching, coming over other part of a resource. So this leads to land degradation, children. Children, it is very simple. You have one page, that page has some capacity where you can write. Once the page is over, you cannot write. You will just scribble and adjust your writing somewhere in the corners, isn't it? So at a point of time, the page is going to get tear up, isn't it? So land degradation here starts when people start encroaching, when people start utilizing these natural resources again and again with period of time. This leads to land degradation. Then, children, land degradation is another outcome. Landslides, soil erosion, desertification are the outcomes of these encroachment and changing land utilization pattern. When land utilization pattern, like we discussed land utilization for roads construction, this we discussed. Now when you are using again and again, more and more, then what happens? Overutilization of land. When people are using land resources to more than extent, then what are the outcomes? Of course, land degrade, quality of the land gets deteriorated. Landslides. When you are continuously using the resources, land is going to be slided from the higher parts. Erosion of the soil is very common. Desertification. When you will extract, when you will suck all the fertility of the soil, obviously the soil is going to be left out with desert only. So these are the outcomes of encroachment and overutilization of land resources, children. We have discussed the meaning, impact, importance of land resource. Then we discuss usage, land use pattern, isn't it? Like what purposes the land is being used. Then children, we did common property resources. Then we did changes in the land utilization pattern over time. Now we are going to see, when we know that these are the threat, like landslide, desertification, these are the threat. Should we conserve the land resource? Of course, yes. So, conservation of land resources. Growing population and ever growing demand has led to a large scale of destruction of forest cover. Isn't it, children? When population is growing and growing and growing, land is fixed, so people will cut the trees and start living there. Isn't it? So, forest cover is decreasing, children, and arable land has created a fear of losing the natural resource. When land is being encroached and being overutilized, children, then there is a fear of losing that natural resource. Therefore, the present rate of degradation of land resources must be checked. In present time, it is the need of the hour, children, that the degradation which we humans are putting over the land should be checked, should be stopped, isn't it? And what are the measures? Afforestation, land reclamation. If the land is left barren, the owner should come and claim, so that others should not put harm to that piece of land. So afforestation, land reclamation, then regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Children, any kind of chemical, if you are going to put again and again into soil, isn't it going to lose the fertility of the soil? Of course, yes. So there should be a check in utilization of the chemical pesticides, fertilizers, etc. Then what should be done, children, to conserve land resources? We should keep a check on overgrazing of animals, and we should put in some common methods used to conserve land. So what measures we should do? We should quickly revise: afforestation, land reclamation, regulated use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, keeping a check on overgrazing, and putting some common methods to conserve land. Isn't it, children? Now, with these measures, we are still not going to get all the land back, but yes, we can stop the degradation of the land. Now, children, let us understand the term what is a landslide. Again, landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock. We have always been hearing in the hilly areas the road is blocked due to landslide. Yes, sliding of the land. Huge mass of the rock which is coming down, which has shifted from its position. They often take place in conjunction with earthquakes, floods, volcanoes. When any natural calamity occurs with huge force, with huge pressure, landslides do happen. Now, the techniques, children, the techniques to protect the land. Here, like we discussed, some common techniques. Now we'll see what are the common techniques. We should locate some areas as prone to landslides. Children, we often see different type of accidents. Like government has warned that this area is prone to landslides, earthquake, that is very prone. Prone means the calamities can often occur here. Okay, so children, still people construct houses, still people go and live there. So we should claim those areas as prone to natural calamities, so that people should stop building houses. Then children, construction of retention wall to stop land from slipping. Retain that land. Construction of wall so that landslide should not happen. Upper wall is there to retain the landslide, so landslide could not happen further. Then increase in the vegetation cover. Vegetation is increase in building plants, growing plants. What will happen if we are going to grow more trees? Roots of the trees are going to bind the soil, hence they are going to keep a check on the land, and land cannot be slided easily, so roots are going to bind. Therefore the landslides won't be taking place after that, children. Next technique, the surface drainage control works are implemented to control the movement of landslide along with the rain water and spring flows. Means surface drainage control works. The land surface drainage is the seeping down of the water through different channels. So we should have the system in a very effective way to control the movement of the slides, children. Then children, with these points, with these techniques, we can have that advantage to these natural calamities like landslides of lesser occurrence. We cannot predict that landslides will not happen, but with these techniques we can prevent ourselves and lesser damage will be taken place. So children, in today's class, whatever things we have discussed, let us quickly recap the different topics. Importance, meaning of land. Second was land use. Third was common property resources. Fourth was change in the utilization of land pattern with the time. And fifth was conservation of land resources. And then the meaning of landslides. And finally, we did the techniques to prevent landslides. Now in the next class, children, we will discuss soil and water, right? So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, students, for supporting, and have a very nice day. Stay safe, stay indoors, and keep learning and keep doing the work, keep revising the chapters which are given. Children, for now, since this is the first class, I'm not going to give you any assignment, any part of written work, since we have just begun with the chapter. So let us complete the chapter, and after that I'm going to attach the very short questions and the exercises which are going to be done at the back of the book. Thank you so much, children. Have a great day.